بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello my dear students. Welcome to a new meeting. Today we are going to have Unit 2 Lesson 5. Today we are going to have some grammatical hints related to our English language. First, begin with the simple present tense. We have studied the simple present tense before, and we have studied that the form of simple present use the simple present to talk about things that are true in general or that happen all the time. الحقائق أو العادات التي تتكرر. For I, you, we, they, and the plural we use the infinitive. مع I و you و we و they والجمع بنستخدم مصدر الفعل. With he, she, and it or singular pronoun أو أي ضمير مفرد أو أي مفرد بنستخدم الverb with s, es or ies, and we have explained it details in the past. Okay? For example, work with I, you, we, they, works with he, she, and it. In the negative form, we use don't followed by the infinitive with I, you, we, and they. And we use doesn't with infinitive as well with he, she, and it. Okay? The next point on your page 30, this even page, time expressions for the present. We can use time expressions to talk about routines or habits, such as from, to, من, إلى. On weekdays في العطلات الأسبوعية يبقى ده بيتكرر. On the weekend في العطلة الأسبوعية. In his free time في وقت فراغه يبقى بيتكرر. So these are some expressions used in the simple present. For example, he works at the hospital from Sunday to Thursday. He works at the hospital on weekdays. Okay? Now, what about questions in the simple present? We use questions with the simple present with do or does followed by the subject and the infinitive and the complement of the sentence. Okay? Or the completion. But what about WH questions, الأسئلة بكلمات استفهام, and they name it or they call it WH, بيسموها WH questions لأن معظم أدوات الاستفهام بتبدأ ب WH. What, where, whose, who, when, and so on. Where does he or she work? In, but compared to where do you or they work. So here we have where. And there we have where as well. But after where we have used does with the singular. But we have used do with the plural. بنستخدم كلمة الاستفهام followed by does مع المفرد و do مع الجمع. After that the subject الفاعل نفسه, then the verb or the infinitive, بعد كده مصدر الفعل, بعد كده تكملة الجملة. For example, what does he or she work? He or she works in a hospital. يبقى عندنا في السؤال does مع المصدر مع المفرد يدينا في الإجابة فعل بإس. أما do مع المصدر يدينا الفعل بدون إس مع الجمع. Okay? Now let's transfer into a next topic related to prepositions of time for the present اللي هي الحروف الخاصة بالوقت. At, in, and on. At with time expressions at 3 o'clock, at noon في عز الظهر, at midnight في منتصف الليل, at midday في منتصف النهار الساعة 12 ظهرا, at night ليلا. However, we use in with in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. On Thursday, weekday, Saturday morning, weekends, and the weekend, such as you are seeing now. These expressions all expresses days. كل التعبيرات اللي بتعبر عن اليوم بتاخد on. Even if you have a name of a certain month followed by the date number. لو لقيت حتى اسم شهر متبوع برقم اليوم. For example, on December 17th في 17 من ديسمبر. فال17 هنا يوم تاريخ يوم معين بيوافق يوم من أيام الأسبوع. So it has on. Okay? Now these are exercises related to the topics in grammar we have studied. Now you are going to read them carefully and to answer them and to revise your answers with these answers, such as number 1, what blank your uncle blank, he's a writer. So what does your uncle do? ماذا يعمل عمك؟ He's a writer. هو كاتب. He blank books. So he writes books and so on. Answer them and revise your answers with these model answers. Now let's transfer into page 31, which is related to another grammatical hint, which is relative pronouns. ضمائر الوصل. Who, that, which بمعنى الذي أو التي للعاقل ولغير العاقل. We use relative clause to add information about a noun in the main clause. في عبارة فيها جملة رئيسية أو كلام رئيسي عن شخص معين أو عن شيء معين، ثم أريد إضافة معلومة أخرى فبقول الذي أو التي. Look at the first example to learn from it. The man was talking to the tourists. He was friendly. The man who or that was talking to the tourists was friendly. Relative clause. So we use relative clause to add information. And you can keep it easily. العاقل ياخد who والغير عاقل ياخد that. يبقى العاقل ياخد هو بمعنى الذي أو التي للعاقل، الرجل الذي، الفتاة التي. الغير عاقل ياخد which. The computer company، شركة الكمبيوتر التي which. The road which، الطريق الذي. وعندنا كلمة ذات بتحل محل الاثنين، يعني هو للعاقل which لغير العاقل وذات بتحل محل الكلمتين. Okay? Look at the first example and the second. The man عاقل يبقى هو. The company or the computer company which، وطبعا ينفع ذات مكان الاثنين. Now how to communicate or contact two sentences with while. while معناها أثناء. It expresses generally in the past. أثناء ما كان شيء بيحدث حدث شيء آخر. This is, we can use the past progressive with while to talk about actions that were happening at the same time. أشياء متزامنة. Look at these examples. Number 1, Muhammad was working on the computer. محمد كان مستمرا في العمل على الكمبيوتر. Was working. Was aware والverb ing يبقى ده ماضي مستمر. شيء كان مستمر في وقت معين في الماضي. Was working on the computer while. أثناء، ممكن نقول أثناء ما شيء حدث فجأة، وممكن نقول أثناء ما كان فيه شيء آخر متزامن في نفس التوقيت مستمر في الحدوث أيضا. محمد was working on the computer while his brother was talking on the phone. أثناء ما كان أخوه بيتحدث على الهاتف. يبقى إذن هنا الاثنين كانوا مستمرين في نفس الأفعال في نفس التوقيت. ممكن أقول محمد was working on the computer while his brother came back home. عندما عاد أخوه، يبقى ده حدث فجأة. Okay, so we can use while with the two sentences in the past progressive. نستخدم في جملتين ماضي مستمر، or one in the past progressive and the other one in the past simple. Okay, now you are going to complete these sentences with who or that. Take careful. Be careful of these words. أكمل باستخدام who أو that. He didn't mention which. لم يذكر which. So we are going to use who with. هنستخدم who مع العاقل with that مع غير العاقل أو مع العاقل أحيانا as you like. The new driver، السائق ده عاقل يبقى هو الذي. Who started work yesterday is very quiet. The products، المنتجات غير عاقل يبقى بديهيا كده which or that. Okay? You are going to read these questions carefully and to complete them, and finally to revise your answers with these model answers. Okay? Now let's transfer into how to express the sentences using while. First example, this is Yahya. It was raining. كانت السماء مستمرة في الإمطار while يحيى was washing the car. أثناء ما كان يحيى بيغسل السيارة. So الزمنين كانوا أو الحدثين كانوا متزامنين في نفس التوقيت. Now you are going to talk about Faisal, Fatima and those people. For example, Faisal was reading or Faisal was studying while he was listening to the match. أثناء ما كان بيستمع إلى المباراة من خلال الإذاعة. Okay? Now these sample answers. Faisal was listening to the football while he was studying. Fatima was talking on her cell phone while she was food shopping, and so on. Okay? After that, go with me to the workbook on page 19. Complete the questions and answers for each sentence. Now you are going to make questions in the present as we have studied. Now, the first question, which is K, to read the words and to compose questions in the simple present and to answer them. After that, to complete the conversation and to choose the right answer. Okay? These are the model answers to revise them on your own for the practice K and L. Transfer into the next page, which is 20. 20, we have 3 exercises, which are M, N, and O. The first one, complete the sentences with who or which, as we have studied in the relative clause lesson. You are going to read the sentences and to choose the right completion, which is who or which, such as the first one. What's the name of the girl? ما اسم الفتاة؟ So الفتاة هنا عاقل تاخد هو على طول. What's the name of the girl who sits next to أمل in school? ما اسم الفتاة التي تجلس بجوار أمل. You are going to answer these questions on page 20 on your own workbook and to revise the answers with these answers. These are the answers for practices M, N, and O. Again, to page 21. Okay, that's for now. Waiting for you the next lesson إن شاء الله. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
مدارس رياض الصالحين، مستقبل واعد لجيل صاعد.